Imagine standing at a crossroads where every path ahead represents a different future. One path is comfortable and familiar, while the others, though less traveled, hold the promise of growth and discovery. Renowned poet Robert Frost once said, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference." This year I challenge you to choose your path not by what is easy, but by what will test your limits and expand your horizons. Today I'm going to share with you 5 powerful principles that I'm embracing in 2024. And these aren't just guidelines, they're beacons on the path less traveled. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a student, or someone just striving to elevate their life, these insights are not just advice, they're blueprints for a journey of transformation and success. The first principle I'm carrying into 2024 is the same guiding principle I've taken into every year since 2019. Don't take advice from those who are not in the position you want to be in. Let's illustrate this with some very, very simple examples. Would you ask this person for fitness advice? Of course you wouldn't. What about this person? Would you ask them for financial advice? Obviously not. And at this extremity, it's obvious to see my point, but the number of people that I see being influenced and corrupted by the voices of others who aren't where they want to be, who are not doing what they want to do, and are not living how they want to live. Yet they're allowing that opinion, which is disguised as advice, to prevent them from changing their life. Look, don't get me wrong, it's good to have advice and feedback from your peers, but they might not see your goals in the same way that you do. It's likely that what will actually happen is they'll end up giving you advice different from what you truly need to hear. Albert Einstein once said, "The one who follows the crowd will usually get no further than the crowd. The one who walks alone is likely to find themselves in places no one has ever been before." So, look for guidance from individuals who've walked the path that you aspire to tread. Right? Because often success leaves a trail of experiences, of insights, and those who've already achieved what you're aiming for are the ones with the most valuable lessons to give you. Learning from those who've been there and done that can provide you with the practical wisdom and the shortcuts to success, saving you time and saving you from the potential setbacks that are almost guaranteed. The only nuance and exception that I allow for in this scenario is it relates to a quote from Bismarck, where fools say that they learn by experience. I prefer to profit from the experience of others. What this is really saying is that you can avoid the pitfalls and the mistakes that you could be making by analyzing the failure of others. Now, let me be clear, analyzing the failure of one person is one thing. Taking their advice is completely different. Because you know what the most common advice given by someone who's failed at what you want to do is? It's not worth trying, it's too hard, don't bother, etc. Do not take advice from those who are not in the position that you want to be in. Treat life like a war, not a battle. You know, in today's world of keyboard warriors, it's very easy to be lured into this vacuum of one-upping people and petty arguments, and this culture which has been created online has spilled into everyday life, right? People are more interested in protecting their ego in the short term without any real consideration for the long-term implications that that will have. I'm here to tell you that in order to win in the long term, sometimes you must also concede, or at least appear to. Napoleon was a master at the strategy, very often playing the long game in ways nobody could understand. In the Battle of Austerlitz, he cleverly appeared to weaken his own army, tempting his forces to attack. But this was all a ruse. When they took the bait, Napoleon struck back hard at their weakest point, securing a crushing victory and teaching us all a very valuable lesson. Appearances can be deceiving, and appearing vulnerable can sometimes open doors to greater triumphs. And the story of the Enigma code in World War II is another prime example, right? When the Allies cracked this code and they could intercept and read all of the German messages that the Germans thought were being transported secretly, they could have stopped thousands of German attacks, but they had to play it smart and they had to make a sacrifice and concede and lose some of their battles, and unfortunately some of their men, some of their soldiers. But they understood that stopping every single German attack would be too obvious, right? The Germans would know and they would have to change their codes, and then the Enigma machine wouldn't work. They wouldn't have access to the most important knowledge, and subsequently wouldn't have the ability to prevent the devastating attacks that they were able to prevent. They used their knowledge sparingly, right? They focused on the bigger picture. They focused on winning the war, not just a few battles. And I call this strategic patience. It's the importance of thinking ahead, not just reacting to the now. Incorporating this into your life means that understanding, right, when to step back and when to go full steam ahead. It's about being smart with your choices, not just, reacting to every challenge thrown your way. Sometimes the real victory truly lies in not engaging in a battle at all and rising above it before it even happens. It's not about being deceitful, it's about being wise. I'm sure you've understood that in chess, sometimes sacrificing a pawn in order to capture the queen is the smart move. So remember, the real winners are those who can see the whole battlefield, not just the immediate fight. Be strategic, be patient, and know when to make your move. The third principle, and the one I'm paying a lot closer attention to this year, is to treat your body like your business. We live in a very fast-paced world, and let's be honest here, it's very easy to neglect our most valuable asset, which is our body. All too often our business is put on such a pedestal above our well-being that, in the past, me especially, I've been guilty of this, but let me remind you, a healthy person has 1,000 wishes. A sick person has only one, right? The more conversations I have with successful people, the more I find that they've come to this conclusion, and some of them have almost come to it too late. You absolutely must consider your body as the core of your success and treat it with the same care and attention you would give to your own business. Investing in your physical health through regular exercise, balanced diet, and sufficient rest will be the key to making the most of 2024. I often see videos about grinding, getting the work done, working until super late at night, sacrificing one of the most important aspects, which is rest. Sleep plays a huge part in the way that we perform during the day, how we tackle challenges, our mood, how happy we are. And as an entrepreneur, it's important to find that time to work on your self-care. And it's very easy not to, but trust me, when you do, you'll see a huge difference in your overall performance, and it won't take long. Just treat self-care as a strategic investment, because a healthy you is a high-performing you. The fourth principle I'm embracing in 2024 is about controlling impulsiveness and delaying short-term rewards. This, I believe, is becoming a superpower in our age of obsessive spending and constant temptation, right? In today's hyper-connected society, we're incessantly bombarded with information and adverts, right? Companies invest in tons of money enticing us with their products and services, and this relentless assault is challenging, right? It makes it difficult to stay grounded and resist the lure of these impulse decisions. There's so many adverts crafted to make us emotional, persuade us, make purchases, but they're all based on these fleeting desires rather than our actual needs. So when I come across something that I like, I now implement a self-imposed waiting period. It's very simple. I give myself 2 weeks to contemplate whether I truly need it. And if after those 2 weeks I'm not completely convinced about the purchase, if that desire has faded, then it signals to me that I don't actually need it. So the next time you're on the verge of buying something, pause and ask yourself, do I really need this? And ask yourself if you need it now. Because if not, you can allow yourself a week or two to think it over, and then only proceed with the purchase if you conclude that it's actually worthwhile and it's not just the result of good advertising. This principle extends beyond mere consumer habits as well. It's about delaying immediate gratifications in other aspects of life, right? Whether it's fitness, business, or any personal ambition, the journey to significant achievements is often slow and gradual. For instance, no bodybuilder attains peak form in a single year. No business owner goes from 0 to 10 million in such a 30-day span or anything like that. And likewise, a musician doesn't turn into a professional after just a year of practice. All of these achievements require delaying short-term rewards for more substantial rewards later on. It's crucial to recognize that if achieving great things was easy, everyone would do it. The key lies in our ability to, really hunker down, to focus on improving bit by bit every single day and postponing that immediate satisfaction. That discipline is what sets apart those who reach extraordinary heights from those who settle for mediocrity. So embrace this principle and you'll be well on your way to achieving remarkable things. The fifth, final, and most important principle is to make brothers, not connections. Let me ask you this, how many people could you call in the middle of the night if you happen to have a serious problem? And how many of them would actually answer and go out of their way to help you? For most of us, the number is pretty small, probably countable on just one hand. You see, for me, relationships fall into three categories. You have connections, friends, and brothers. And in today's society, it's become more valuable to have numerous connections and an inflated follower count than to have real friends who you can trust and rely on. We live in a world where digital communication often takes the place of genuine connection, and society has become plagued with backstabbing and climbing on top of others in order to get ourselves higher. But in a world where digital communication often substitutes for real connection, intentionally fostering meaningful connections is vital. You see, while social media might quantify connections, right, the real impact comes from the depth of those connections. You must aim for quality over quantity. I personally expanded my network significantly in 2023 and I expect to do the same in 2024. But here's the thing, as I meet new people and develop new relationships, I do it with the aim to make a lifelong friendship. And if that energy is reciprocated, I end up with a brother. Think about the last time you celebrated someone else's success without a little hint of jealousy, right? That feeling of genuine happiness for another person's achievements is a cornerstone of true brotherhood. It's about rooting for them at all times, sharing in their highs, supporting them through their lows. This quality of selflessness and mutual support is what transforms a connection into a brother. So, surround yourself with people who align with your values and your aspirations, because this is not a game of popularity. It's about creating a circle that genuinely supports your journey. And when you have that, express the gratitude necessary for those people, right? Make sure they know that they're contributing positively to your life. That not only strengthens the connection or the friendship or the brotherhood, but also creates a culture of appreciation. So the next time you meet someone new, ask yourself, is this just another connection or could this be a brother? Aim to be that person who others can count on, the one who cheers on their success without envy, because in a world obsessed with connections, you must strive to make brothers. Inside of my entirely free, no-catch community, the xlounge.io, we've built a treasury of resources that support with each of these aspects, from accountability cohorts, expert interviews, through to networking sessions. We have everything you need. It's free, so I won't pitch you too hard, but if you want to check it out, click the link below. So there you have it. 2024 is going to be about discerning genuine advice, right? Strategizing for long-term success, looking at the whole plan rather than just the short, immediate effects, right? Valuing our health as our greatest asset, mastering our impulse control, and fostering deep, meaningful relationships over mere connections. If you implement these principles, you will certainly be ahead of the curve this year, and I wish you all the best. Press the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.